It's a known fact that the education system is in crisis, with only 65% of Matric students passing. The dropout rate is sitting at 50%, and inadequate management such as a lack of teachers and textbooks are contributing to this critical situation in the country. Since the end of apartheid, education has been under the microscope as one of the elements that needs extreme attention. We decided to investigate the lack of resources and facilities for matrics in Grahamstown's public schools, particularly for pupils who want to pursue tertiary education. We spoke to Dr. Ashley Westaway, who is the director of GADRA Matric School, an organisation helping students complete their matric.
There are a handful of schools that produce acceptable educational outcomes. Those are the former Model C schools, so the former white schools, and then the majority of schools, the township schools, producing unacceptably poor educational outcomes. Because the majority of schools are underperforming educationally, the pass rates and the overall average level of performance in the city is poor.
Ntshingana and Loyiso Kupula are matric students completing their schooling at Nombulelo Senior Secondary School. They seem to be optimistic about the future and only had good things to say about their school. They spoke to us about the challenges they faced when applying to university.
At first time when I did it, it was not easy because, there are certain things which I don't know while filling in the forms. Because, when something is written in your language, it's easy to answer it and it's easy to interact with it. So at the Youth Hub, Cindy came and helped us for applying.
The Upstart Youth Development Project was established in 2008. Today, 114 young students in Grahamstown, ranging in the age between 13 to 19 years old, attend their extracurricular activities. Cindy Ntshingana and Ola Joni grew up in Joza and went to 2 of the public schools. They started a project assisting a small percentage of students who were applying for university online.
Most of them who have come here, they didn't even have email addresses. So we've also had to create Gmail accounts for them.
I think other high schools do have computer labs, but it's just a matter of getting someone to teach them how to go about it.
Some of them have really good marks. I've seen students with distinctions that have come here and they didn't know where else to go. So maybe if we didn't have this project going on, maybe they wouldn't apply and they would just next day sit at home and do nothing, whereas they have passed their matric with distinctions. I think because Grahamstown is a small place, there's not much you can do in Grahamstown if you do not have grade 12 or a degree. So there are no opportunities like learnerships and other things that you can do as a person who have passed their matric. So you end up with actually no choice but to go work at ShopRite or Pick n Pay.
According to Equal Education, 28.3% of matrics nationally met the minimum requirements to study at university. In comparison, only 13.7% of candidates from the 6 public schools in Joza met the requirements, which was a total of 51 students.
There is a general lack of understanding, so one has to be very realistic in terms of the discussion with the respective students about what is actually required. And that relates to understanding levels of pass, it relates to understanding how university admission points are calculated, and so on. Once a student has got to the situation where he or she can actually apply technically in terms of the results, then there's the issue of the 100 Rand application fee.
We asked the matrics from Nombulelo about the assistance from teachers and whether they felt they were receiving the best learning experience.
I believe, in my experience, I believe sometimes the teacher finds it hard for herself or himself to understand the topic that we're in a certain subject. And once the teacher struggles with the topic, it will be much harder teach and for us to grasp the whole topic.
Despite the difficulties they face, Yonela and Loyiso are a small percentage who have plans in place if they do not get into university.
If my application for NMMU is unsuccessful, then I have 3 other backup plans, like joining the Navy, Air Force, or rather, if none of that happens, I just might as well join the traffic service.
My plan for next year is to study at my course, Public Relations and Communication, and also find like dance companies which offer dance and TV presenting also. Those are the things that I wish to do next year.
Sanele in Ntshingana is an example of someone who has made it through the challenges of the education system. He matriculated from Nyaluza in 2011 and was one of the top 10 students who received exclusive access to apply to university for free.
I guess I was very lucky. I was fortunate from a lot of other kids. I was an exception, you know. I was very much involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. There's no proper system in place in the school, at least from the time I was in high school. I don't know how it has changed now.
Amner, an academic at Rhodes University, says the facilities are provided but are not being utilized.
I know the upstarters are supposed to be able to use the Jaws Youth Hub on Wednesday afternoons as a priority. So there are other days where they could perhaps get into that lab. But all the times that we've been there, there have been problems with the internet. And it's interesting, though, if you look like at an organization like the GADRA Matric School, they are able, despite the matric students failing, in a year to turn that situation around. Again, with good leadership and proper support for learners, it's possible that they can actually crack this. And of course, in the GADRA Matric School is geared towards getting that bachelor's pass. Well, not in every case, but in a lot of cases.
The majority of matrics are unable to attend university due to a mixture of social and economic challenges.
To be honest, most of them, they don't go to university. They stay here in the township. And the problem for them, it sometimes it's the background thing, you know. Some come from different background and they don't have money to pay for university, and so they tend to stay at the location and do nothing, or just go and find jobs just to have something to survive.
The unemployment rate in the Eastern Cape is sitting on 30%. If this gap in education is to continue, we could see an increase in social and economic problems.